Hello, homies! Hiya! We are starting the live stream early. I don't see anyone here just yet. We are definitely jumping the gun on this one, but I had to get this video out. Just give everyone a little notice, a little update on everything. This is for the homies that are behind the scenes. This is for the homies that really care what's been going on and what's going on next. So, first thing first, I think I should address the elephant in the room. Well, actually, Jiggy, why don't you start us off? That was excellent. If you didn't catch that, Jiggy's gonna do it one more time. Can you do it, Jiggy? He doesn't want to do it, but Jiggy, come on, one more time. Most excellent, Jiggy. Excellent banjo playing. All right, so we're gonna do a little update here, and the like I said, addressing the elephant in the room. I'm not really a cartoon character. I'm a real person, and this is not my only venture. I'm actually starting a new venture, a completely different thing apart from Cartoon Commotion. Some things are changing, and here, let me turn off this music because this was getting fun. This was fun at first, but now it's going to be a distraction. All right, so I need to make some updates. I need you guys to know this stuff. I am taking a huge step back from Cartoon Commotion. We are going to make this a sort of gradual crawl process, crawling towards production. Like the production is going to halt to a crawl. And I hate to announce that, but it's very important that you all know exactly why. And again, this is for the homies that are behind the scenes, the homies that really care about this stuff. I know a great deal of people that have subscribed to the YouTube channel and Facebook and everything recently probably don't care as much as you guys do. So, and I can see it's like hardly anyone on here right now, but that's okay. That's okay. There's going to be an audio version for the podcast as well, so that everybody watching and listening knows what's going on. I'm taking a step back, but the show is not over. It's not done. This is going to be one of those I'm leaving YouTube videos. No. We're not doing that. We're not doing it for the click, unless that's going to get me clicks. No, I'm kidding. So recently, in the process of making videos, I've found myself further away from the content I was making. Like, I would make a series of videos for the likes and the views and the clicks, and I thought I was doing the right thing and that people wanted that, and that was good. And the problem is that I was so very right. I was so very right. The channel has now exceeded 1,000 subscribers. It's 1,501 as of today. I thought for sure I would be celebrating as soon as I hit 1,000. Like, that's a huge milestone. But instead, I felt overwhelmed and completely out of place. Like, what am I doing here? Why? What? All these people are flooding the comment section, and I thought, okay, well, this is great. I have a whole community here now. But not necessarily. The people who are commenting, the majority of people were actually people I didn't know, people who wanted me to change the show entirely. And I was getting overwhelmed. I was like, hordes of comments and views and likes and dislikes and all kinds of things that just I was unprepared for. And I thought I was more prepared for that, but I wasn't. I was unprepared for it. I was overwhelmed, and I immediately felt more withdrawn from it. It was then that I realized that the homies that were here from the beginning were the ones that I was always speaking to, and not necessarily the new subscribers. No offense to you new subscribers. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad. I hope that you love Cartoon Commotion. You continue to love Cartoon Commotion because it's not going anywhere. But, there were a lot of decisions, impulsive decisions that I made thinking like, oh, I'm going to monetize this and make this my bread and butter. And that was a bad move. I found myself putting together programs and things that just were out of my hands, like out of my depth and my caliber. Like, I had a whole special prepared for Batman Mask of the Phantasm, which I still want to make. I still plan to make that. But it was huge. It requires a lot of time, money, resources that I just don't have a lot of right now. And then, I thought, okay, that's on the back burner, but that's not it. Then I made a program called Cartoon Connection. If you've ever heard of my program, Cartoon Connection, forget about it. It's gone. It's dead. Gone. I killed it today. I killed it. I took the link off and everything. If you've supported the show and you continue to support the show, thank you. You're the only reason that I am able to continue making this show, because fundage is nada. And as I start this new venture, I've realized, okay, this may never be a job. In fact, I don't know if I could even call it a hobby, because I don't make money with it necessarily. And I also don't like it's not something I can necessarily stop doing, because I love what I do. I love making videos. I love uh cartoons. I love cartoons, and I love this new venture. So if this, I keep saying new venture, but we'll get to that. um if it's not a hobby and it's not a career, then what is it? It's my lifestyle. I am a professional weirdo. There you go. I've accepted it. I've adopted that as my identity. That's what it is. And I'm okay with that. I'm not like looking to monetize it. It's in such a big way. I was pushing towards monetization in the past because I was concerned that if I didn't make this a job, then I'd lose it. I wouldn't be able to keep doing it because it just takes so much of my time. Um, and then there's the fact that I wasn't being honest with myself. And in turn, I wasn't being honest with you. I kind of sort of lied a little bit. I don't mean this in a like I'm lying to you guys sort of thing. I'm not lying to you, but I wasn't totally transparent. So I think I should do that now. I think to clear the air and just make it a little less fumey around here, I should let you know who I am. My name is Cade Hawkins. I am 26 going on 27. I was born in 1997, and I have a very little experience with the decade of the 1980s. I get all of my information secondhand. I have a book right here, the Dictionary of 1980s Slang, and I work that into my content because I want it to be authentic. I love 80s and 90s cartoons, but I also forgot that I love early 2000s cartoons. My Life as a Teenage Robot, the later years of the great decades of SpongeBob. Decades. I don't know how to put it like that, but I grew up with SpongeBob. I grew up with My Life as a Teenage Robot. I grew up with Chalk Zone and a lot of Nickelodeon. Johnny Bravo was in there. Powerpuff Girls. It's crazy because I'll be talking about cartoons with these older guys, and as soon as I mention cartoon, they start telling me all the cartoons they grew up with. It's insane. They'll go on and on and on about all the cartoons that they loved growing up. And it's, it's when you talk about nostalgia, it happens. But it's almost humorous because I didn't expect, like us to get into a whole conversation about it. And it's not just a conversation. It's sort of like a bunny trail or a detour from what I was already talking about, the cartoon I was already talking about, the movie I was already talking about, whatever it might be. It's just all of a sudden they're talking like, I grew up with Popeye. I grew up with Porky Pig and Looney Tunes. And it's like, that's great. That's great. I'm glad you love that. I am so glad you love that. We were talking about Earthworm Jim. And it's just like, it's a tangent that takes you way off where we really were. If you have questions, please let me know. But people who are in the live chat, continue. I am 26 going on 27. I did not grow up in the 80s. And so a lot of this has been me kind of not being my most authentic self. I've been putting on a little bit of a face to be a character that I'm not. And more recently, the character that I'm aiming towards, the character that I'm portraying in this other venture, is the most me I've ever been. And I think that's because this new venture is actually an old venture revisited. I grew up with a lot of comedy, on Nickelodeon with all that and, Amanda's Show and, um, Pete and Pete I kind of found out about 'cause I I have it on DVD, but, um, there's so many shows that and so many things like Drake and Josh, Keenan and Kel, um, Home Improvement, Full House, just stuff that I grew up with, stuff that inspires me comedically speaking, that it's like I can't deny that I was always doing comedy before this. Like this was sort of a detour from that. And what I mean by that is like when I was 7 years old, I had a camera and it's actually in this room. So here, hang on. Sorry for that moment of silence. This was the camera that I grew up with. VCam now. It's from Tiger, which was Hasbro, but it really wasn't. It was actually another company called Mustech. I found out much later when I bought this again from eBay. Shoots in really low grade quality video footage. But as I was rediscovering my love of comedy and what I used to do with cameras like this, I decided to make some videos and I put them on another channel and I started playing around with the concept of returning to comedy. And one of the first things I put together was this video here.
Hey, you want to go on a quest?
What?
You know, a quest, an adventure to someplace else to experience stuff.
Sounds like work.
It might be a little work, but it would be magical.
Would I have to leave this field right here?
Well, I mean, yeah, it could take us away from this location.
Sounds like effort, not magic.
There'd be a little effort, but it could take us to places that we've never dreamed possible.
I like it here, in this spot, right here. I am not moving.
Kinda sorta sounds like you don't want to go on a quest now.
Kinda does, doesn't it?
Well, I want to go on a quest. My heart calls me to the quest. My mind beckons me to the quest. My tongue seeks the tasty sensation of questing. I think if the right unicorn came along and offered to go on a quest with me, I'd take that chance.
Hey, anybody out here fancy a quest?
Sounds like work.
Now, if you want to see the rest of that video and all other Chubby Unicorn videos, go on over to Caterade Comedy on YouTube and or Facebook, Caterade Comedy. Pretty much everywhere, Instagram. I'm on Threads. So in summary, I made that video with my friends. My friend Jay did the voice of Gordon. That's the other unicorn, and the pink unicorn, that one's Razamataz, or Raz for short, and it was me. Now, that was animated. That was what we call an almost animated adventure, because it's sort of like still framed animation almost. I like that idea. And that was just the beginning of what I was starting with Caterade Comedy. But I just wanted to give you guys some examples of what I'm doing over there and why I haven't been giving this my full attention over here on Cartoon Commotion. In summary, I'm bringing production down to a crawl. I'm taking a huge step back from Cartoon Commotion. Please forgive me, but also please understand that I'm embracing who I really am, and I'm focusing my attention on Caterade Comedy because I got started in comedy. I started all this with comedy videos. Just so happened that I forgot how much I loved it because I was doing this. I was making videos for the people to subscribe and get more of, just become a part of the homies here on Cartoon Commotion. I was so into that I completely forgot how much I loved what I started with. And when I showed that video to my aunt, she said, "Wow, this is kind of like what you used to make." And right then I was just kind of like, I was taken back. I was like, yeah, this is kind of like who I used to be, what I used to do. And a better example of that is a video from 2018. I do have that with me. Right here.
Ah! My turtle can fly! What the crap?
Hey, boy! What happened?
I just bombed it and it dropped and it became like a super turtle, like a monster turtle, yeah! It became like a monster turtle. And now it's gonna go off and it's gonna do battle with like a super giant mech turtle. It's gonna be televised, it's gonna be awesome. My turtle can fly!
My turtle can fly. That was a big thing. That was I was driving my family crazy with that one for the longest time. They had no understanding of what I was talking about. I was like, my turtle can fly, my turtle can fly, my turtle can fly. Then eventually I made that video and they were laughing hysterically. They still quote it to this day. And that was back in 2018. So that was back in 2018. That was early for this channel, like to understand like how I've been doing this channel since like I want to say I was 24 and now I'm 26. It's been about almost 4 years. And I've learned a lot from this channel that I can apply to that channel. I feel like what I'm doing now wouldn't be as good if I didn't focus on this project for a good amount of time. But now that I've rediscovered my love of comedy, I've got to refocus on that project. I've got to go all in there because that's who I really am. This is a part of me, but it's not all of me. Caterade comedy is also a part of me. It's also a part of what I do. And I think it's also important to remember on the internet that you're not just one thing. You are you, and you can do many things. It's just that, we get in our heads about like these brands and stuff and we focus on this identity. It's like, this is me here. But is it? Is it all of you or is it a part of you? Is it just something you do also? And honestly, there's the reverse of that. I've met podcasts and people from those podcasts that they don't really know who they are. They don't really have a good understanding of what they talk about and what they do. They'll say all we do is drink and talk or worse. And I'll be like, well, is that really a show or are you just hanging out with your buddies? And well, I know the answer, but they say it's a show. So yeah, I mean, if you feel inclined, please go follow Caterade Comedy, and please understand that Cartoon Commotion is not done. It's just going to come out a lot slower. We're on a you get it when you get it production schedule. And please don't be offended by that. I love cartoons, and I always will. There you go. One more quick example of the kind of humor that you're going to get at Caterade Comedy is this material right here. This is some stand-up I've done just like talking about superheroes, in particular Batman.
Psst, my friend Jasmine is super not into superheroes, and I just don't get it. She says it's because they're unrelatable. Like, take Batman for example. Batman is ultra wealthy, and he's got all these gadgets and gizmos. How could I relate to Batman? I got news for you, Jasmine. Batman wasn't always the hippest cat in Gotham. No siree, Bob. He was just as poor as you or I or you. In fact, he used to get his suit out of one of them stacking filing cabinet things. I mean, like a filing cabinet. He used to store and retrieve his bat suit from a filing cabinet. He used to live in the suburbs, and he could barely afford that. Not to mention his BFF Larry, who he let be his Robin, lived in his walls. They couldn't afford a bat cave, so he kind of had like a extravagant man cave or something, and it was all in his walls. And together they drove around in the boring mobile out in broad daylight. They thwarted the efforts of a poor man who his only dream in life was to walk again. Not cool, Batman. Not cool. So, Jasmine, if you want a character to relate to, I'd say that Batman's pretty relatable.
that was not necessarily, I guess, the best example, but a more recent example would be I did this whole bit out in public in an actual Marshalls about the artistic styles of the Clarence, or yeah, the Clarence section.
Clarence! The world's foremost famous designer that nobody knows about because his prices are just so good people think it's just on sale or something. Check this out, come with me. So this right here, these are for like when you're out and about and you want to blend into traffic. You want to go and you want to get into construction sites and feel like you're a construction worker. Maybe you're not really a construction worker, you just want the vibe. There you go. Or check this out. You're too lazy to put a belt on in the morning. These pants come with a belt already installed. You don't need to put a belt on because your pants did it for you. What? Oh, and you want something more impressive? You could vanish from everybody's sight immediately with green screen pants. Of course, the matching top costs extra, but it's worth it if you want to vanish, and most of us do these days. Check this out. You've been in a tragic boating accident? I present to you the one-legged pant leg pant. It's just one leg. That's all it's for. One. He thinks ahead. Clarence is a genius, but come with me. We're not done. Come on. Over here. Over here. Alright, so, you want to repel all the men that have been chasing you because you're so beautiful? Check this out. Boom. Instant repellent. Get away, man. Get away. Oh. This was designed for Debbie Denham, his long-lost love, who died in a tragic I can't pronounce... Debbie Denham died from a disaster in a denim factory. Okay, that was really hard to say, but... Anyway, Disco shirt. This is for like when you don't really care if you offend the eyes of everyone around you because your fashion it's just that level, you know? Oh, and he is diverse in his styles. This shirt is like a graphic t-shirt, but it says what we're all thinking. And it really lets you know with the disapproving gaze. And look at that price tag, only $2. Really. This designer will go down in history as the greatest designer that nobody knows. I'm going to change that. Support Clarence. Only at Marshalls.
Support the Clarence section. Okay, so I know I've already said this, but in recap, we are slowing production on Cartoon Commotion to a crawl. Please replay this for all of the context, and I will be putting it out as a podcast as well. Thank you for your time. Keep it unreal, and I'll be seeing you very soon. And for more comedic goodness, please go ahead and subscribe or follow Caterade Comedy wherever you can do that. We are brought to you by the fine folks of the Cereal Box Network, cerealboxnetwork.com. And I didn't know I had this, so for the longest time, I haven't been able to play it, but here's a little something from Johnny from the Cereal Box Network. He's probably, like, if I go live again, which I probably will, we're definitely going to play this again, but this is from Johnny.
Hey there, friends and foes. This is Johnny with Back of the Cereal Box, and you are in the audience for Cartoon Commotion, the only podcast that helps you understand the true life lessons and the true hidden meaning behind your favorite cartoons. Stick around and have a great time with Cade and Jiggy, and until the next time, I'll catch you on the Back of the Cereal Box.
That was awesome, Johnny. And we aren't going anywhere. Again, we are just slowing production down to a crawl, but we will be back with more Cartoon Commotion. Keep it unreal.